Miss lives in her family home with her husband and 3 sons. This house holds both comforting memories and those that she wished could be forgotten. Her family moved into this house in 1988, and at the time she was 5 years old. At first, as she remembers, everything felt normal, but as she grew older, she remembers that the atmosphere did in fact start to change. By the time the witness was 10 or 11, unexplained events started happening, and they were all centered around her mother and her parents' bedroom. This room always felt wrong, like super heavy and unsettling, and it actually faced the east, but it never felt warm, even when it was in the middle of the summer. Her mother often said that when her father bought this house, he unknowingly actually bought a coffin. As the years passed, the mother started becoming extremely paranoid and pessimistic. By the time the witness reached her teenage years, her mother had changed in ways that just could not be explained. By the time the witness reached 14 years old, these unexplained events just completely escalated. Her mother, a very small person, started experiencing violent attacks where the family started believing she was experiencing attacks from some sort of demonic force. It got to the point where she was actually missing 2 of her teeth. The mother started speaking in a super unfamiliar language, and they started doing some research, and they realized it was an African language. And between talking, she would laugh hysterically and actually scream. And between talking, they kind of figured out she was asking for her hand and her leg back. These weird type of attacks with this strange language, it continued on for a little while. In 1997, the mother suffered a stroke that left her disabled. When she was fully lucid, she would talk about these dreams of her having this crazy reoccurring dream of a young African man asking her to help him find his hand and leg. She also described of something weird laying and sitting next to her when she was in bed, and she couldn't quite figure out if she was having a dream or actually awake. And she could actually feel it like biting her neck and scratching her, to the point of where when she would wake up, she would actually have like little type of love bites and actual scratches on her body. And these scratches and bites would only happen on the days that her husband would work nights. One day when the whole family was downstairs, they heard furniture being dragged across the room in her bedroom. In her room, all of her bedding was scattered and her bed was pushed completely against the wall. This continued on until the day that the witness's mother actually passed away. And sadly, in this specific room, she said that was the only time that this room ever felt warm. It was the only time that this room ever felt peaceful. And to this day, she felt like her mother was actually just tormented. In your opinion, do you think that this entity or demon or whatever you think it was, do you think it was actually attached to the residents, or do you possibly think that this poor woman may have been just haunted throughout her life by some sort of demonic entity? I would love to know your thoughts, and again, thank you so much for being here.